Hello everybody, my name is Michael Laubscher and I've just returned from an incredible adventure in Mana Pools. And in this video, I will highlight what we got up to in the 3 destinations we visited. Welcome to Kavinga camp everybody, where we spend the first 3 nights of our best of Mana Pools safari. There's an incredible way to start this trip because it is somewhat slow paced, where we can do our game drive activities every morning and every evening, whereas as we arrived we had lions in the riverbed. We went back out that evening to photograph them with some sidelight photography, so it was a really beautiful way to start our trip. But from that moment onwards, we've had incredible sightings out in the field as well as here in camp, because this water hole that you just saw is extremely productive. It is the last bit of water in this area of the Greater Mana region, and so therefore everything gets drawn in towards this water. Massive herds of elephant, endless herds of buffalo, warthog, all kinds of birds. We even had leopards drinking here on the first evening, which was spectacular. So we had room lighting of leopard drinking at the water, room lighting of elephant and buffalo drinking at the water, and the predator activity out in these plains to my right at the moment have been ridiculous. We've had lions here every single night. On our second evening, we actually only came to sit for dinner at about 9 p.m. because we had lions hunting buffalo. So we were sitting in the hide enjoying everything that was coming in. We then got a radio call saying, let's leave the hide, get in the vehicle and go out, because there were 2 lions approaching a massive herd of buffalo, and they gave it 2 attempts and failed. We then decided come back into camp, enjoy some dinner and retreat for the evening. And while we were actually all showering, we heard distress calls of buffalo just behind camp. So the lions had attempted again. They were definitely on the back of a buffalo, but did not manage to take it down and finish the job. But as I'd mentioned, this hide is just crazy cool, and one of the reasons why it is such a great way to start the best of Mana Pools is because it allows you to kind of get back into the swing of your photographic game, rid those what we like to refer to as cobwebs sitting on your cameras at a nice slow leisurely pace, because things are always constantly coming into the water and leaving and coming back in and leaving, which gives you great opportunity to try different things, try different techniques, get creative, but also the various vantage points that you can shoot from here, being the deck from your room and your tent, which overlooks this body of water, the deck here from the pool where I'm sitting at the moment, and then slightly higher and over the top left of my head, the main area of the lodge itself, which overlooks this plain. So you really get various different vantage points from which you can photograph here. A really great start and a good way just to get back into the swing of things. So Kavinga camp, always a pleasure. Meals are always great. The guiding team's always a lot of fun to spend time with. The team in the lodge are always cheerful and happy. And yeah, like I said, the game viewing has not let us down. Before that lion hunt, actually that evening, we were sitting in the hide. We all decided, oh, we've been in here for a couple of hours, we're going to make our way up and out. And one of the guides at the lodge said they heard leopard calling in the distance. And about 5 minutes after that, guinea fowl went absolutely berserk under one of the mahoganies out in the plains over here. And when we raced out to go follow up on those lions that were stalking the buffalo, we found this leopardess. Her name is Poppy, beautiful girl. She was busy feeding on a guinea fowl, hence the reason the guinea fowl were going crazy. But yeah, then that buffalo hunt happened, and sadly, as I said, they had missed. But we had an incredible view we had another vehicle closer to camp shining a spotlight over the heads of the buffalo after they'd run and kicked up dust. We had all these beautiful horns kind of coming through. It looked so eerie through the dust and the backlighting. So we really got a good start to our best of Mana Pools trip and tried a whole array of creative type of photography. but we're very excited for the very next step, which is spending time on the floodplains. So let's delve into that right now. Time at Zambesi expeditions is always such a bliss, and what a start it was for us on day of arrival. I say this because when we arrived, we had high hopes of seeing one particular animal in the area, and this is a well-known elephant by the name of Boswell. And he practices or kind of shows off in a unique way to visitors in Mana pools. I say this because not only are his tusks really impressive and really pretty, but he kind of shows off in a very unique way when he is browsing the tree canopies out in Mana pools. So as mentioned, we arrived in camp. He hadn't been seen for about 2 weeks, and as we arrived there, we drove into camp, and we couldn't really believe it when we first saw it, especially our guide Cloud. He pointed out to the left, and Boswell came walking out the tree line right towards camp. And as he was kind of slowly meandering along, feeding and eating, he walked literally right between tent 5 and the dining room and lounging area, and he pretty much displayed what all guests kind of want to see from this elephant right on our doorstep. He has this crazy and has developed this crazy ability to stand up on his hind legs, reach up to higher branches, latch onto it with his trunk, and then pull it down, and for the most part a massive branch snaps off, and then he can stand there and feed for a number of minutes. So we were super fortunate to have, on the moment we arrived, basically ticked that box off with this beautiful looking and really unique elephant right on our doorstep. And that was obviously our afternoon plan. We decided that we're gonna walk straight out of camp and walk the floodplains that Zambesi Expeditions overlooks. So this is the camp situated right on the Zambesi River. It really is pretty, and so we literally decided we're just going to walk from camp that afternoon and out onto the floodplain and follow Boswell and the other elephants that follow him. And then over the 4-night stay, we were very lucky to have had Boswell visit a number of times. He moved through camp a couple of times while we were there. We had many other elephants, daily visits from elephants in the camp, in and around the camp. That's pretty much a given when you go to Zambesi Expeditions. We had leopards in camp one night, sitting around the fire pit, having our afternoon sundowners as we returned from camp. We had a leopard walk through, which we couldn't really photograph, but it walked past us, kind of walked down along the lager and made its way into the floodplains. We had lions calling outside and behind camp every single night we were there, hyenas calling. So really a great way to spend our evenings out in Zambesi Expeditions. But obviously when it comes to Mana pools, a lot of people see it as a walking destination where you can approach big game on foot, which it is if you are accompanied by professionals in this area. And that being said, we obviously spent a lot of time on foot, spending time with elephants, the likes of Boswell and many other elephants in the area, buffalo, eland, waterbuck, impala. We've tracked lions. We tracked lions 3 times. We walked and found lions on foot 3 times. That was quite fun. 3 very different sightings, but equally as amazing, and photographic opportunities were fair. And then, yeah, but our best time photographing on the floodplains is usually early morning, where you have a soft, subtle light coming through the canopies of the trees. There's not too much haze or mist or dust in the air during these times. So great for photographing in the forest. And then in the late afternoons, photographing in the forest when there's a lot more dust in the air. If you position yourself strategically to place the sun between yourself, your subject, and then between your subject and the sun, have the forest and a main road. So when cars zoom past, they kick up all this beautiful dust, and photographically that is just really special. And speaking of special, the forests in and around the floodplains of Mana Pools is always special. You can always photograph there regardless of the time of day. On a hot midday, early afternoon session, going out there photographing whatever you may find, there's always a beautiful blue kind of haze that you see within the depths of the forest. So it adds a really cool kind of mystical look and feel to your photograph. So yeah, the 4 nights we spent out there, we spent many hours on foot, photographing elephant, buffalo, as I've mentioned, all kinds of things, and we really had a great time. Zambesi Expeditions team always look after us beautifully, with dinners under the stars, which is so great. Every afternoon we have a sundowner drink around the fire pit, listen to the night, kind of wake up, watch the last bit of the sunset glow, and then watch the stars appear. But having a dinner under the stars is even more special. On one of the evenings where we have a nice braai, or for some of you might know it as a barbecue, and then a nice bush breakfast was set up for us right on the banks of the Zambezi, with hippos and elephants milling around. Baboon. It was really special, and always is a great stay. But being out on foot in Mana Pools is something very exciting and thrilling. It just kind of heightens all your senses, and it is something that you really have to do when you come to Mana Pools. And with this particular safari being the best of Mana Pools, we've just come from Kanga. We now finished up at Zambesi Expeditions. So Kanga is more kind of vehicle-based focused, nighttime photography and hide photography, whereas Zambesi Expeditions is more your on-foot experiences with big game. And then where we go to next, Kanga, is more of a kind of relaxed environment, an armchair safari overlooking a very productive waterhole. Now with that being said, let's head straight there. So this is pretty much Kanga every day. We've got elephant herds. They come through every single day. See, there's a bit more down there. Mudding, you guys coming in here. And this is a daily thing here. And these very sofas is why this lodge got named the Armchair Safari, or Sofa Safari destination of Mana Pools, because this is where you can relax throughout the day. And for the most part, days here are enjoyed from this very area, photographing from the deck, animals moving past, lunch down here, dinners, and we have got who's there? There we go, Tanya and Manfred down in the hide photographing elephant. So photography platforms being the hide, this main deck, and everywhere around camp really. We've had elephants drinking at the pool over here, and this is where meals are served, fireplaces, and all the rooms run down the right hand side of or the left hand side, excuse me, of camp. Now, as mentioned, hello, good morning. With the various platforms here in camp, it allows for really cool, unique approaches to wildlife photography, particularly elephant. You can get some really cool close-ups of the eyes, the ears, the skin, the tusks, whatever it may be. It really is a fun place to photograph and enjoy elephant. Most of our days usually consist of spending time on the deck, doing Lightroom, photographing from here, and looking at photographs that guests got to capture throughout their stay at Kavinga and Zambesi Expeditions. But this time around, unfortunately, we did not have too much luck with wild dog on this trip, and they kept trying to avoid us, or not trying to, they did. When we were at Kavinga, the dogs were not seen on the floodplains. When we got to Lower Zambezi, the dogs were found here at Kanga and at Kavinga. And when we got here to Kanga, the dogs were found on the floodplains, and we have spent 3 days driving that long road, which is about an hour long, very bumpy, very dusty, and obviously a lot of tsetse flies. In order to try and find these dogs, we found tracks, but we just couldn't pick up on them. But we enjoyed beautiful sunsets, sundowners, drinks down on the floodplains, and on our last morning we really spent another incredible time with all other animals within the floodplains. And we also managed to pick up on boswell again and had an incredible time with him. He stood a few times, came nice and close. He was very relaxed and very happy with our presence. Also had an incredible lion sighting on our first evening here at Kanga, where as soon as we arrived, we settled, saw the rooms, photographed elephants, enjoyed lunch, and then we knew that there were a mating pair in an open area about 5 minutes from camp, and the rest of them down in a riverbed. And so we made our way out there, and we saw the mating pair, but they were in harsh light. It was very hot. We decided, let's just go sit with the cubs. They'd get active sooner. And so we did this, just to learn that there was a second mating pair in the riverbed with the rest of the family. So a total of 5 females. There were 2 males in the area, and then 3 cubs, but we had them at eye level. They were playful and just having the absolute best time of their life. And it was a really great sighting, in which we also got stuck in the riverbed that evening and needed to get towed out. But yeah, all round incredible time with lions here at Kanga. But yeah, an all round incredible safari here in Mana Pools, and it truly is the best of seeing that you get to experience various different areas within Mana, and various different photographic opportunities within this really beautiful place. So I hope that this trip report shares a little bit more of what our Best of Mana Pools offering is all about. And if you do have any more questions regarding this trip, please feel free to get in touch, Angry Elephant, and I will happily assist you. Cheers.